This is 7 Days of XYZ, a YouTube channel where we explore a new topic every week related to companies and technology. And this week is about artificial intelligence business cases. So one really cool company is the company Textio. Textio, what they do is that they have job ads. They have taken job ads that are like performing well and performing poorly, like job ads that where people are actually applying for the job and where people are not applying for the job. And then they try to understand, like, you know, what is common among these job ads where people are actually applying for the jobs, and what is common for these job ads that where people are not applying for the jobs. And they have found that the job ads where people are applying for the job has a different language to some extent than the job ads where people are not applying for the job. So for instance, like if you write a job ad, then you will write like, we are, you know, going insolvent in a few days. Like, you know, no one will obviously like apply for that job. But then there's like things where it's like, you know, in the gray zone. Words that, you know, ninja, which has been popular in job ads previously, and you know, some people would be like super repelled by that word, like ninja. What these companies are doing is that they're taking text, and then they're based on that text, they're able to say like, you know, this will have this effect on the people that are applying. And the way that we had to do this before was to actually write the job ad, see if people applied, and then we had to take the knowledge from those applications and then improve the process. So like we had to write several job ads and then see if people are actually applying for those jobs. And then we had to do this like iterative circle all the time. But now there's a company that has done all that work for us. So they've been looking at those all like million job ads and say like, based on what you're trying to do now, like what you're trying to write, you know, people will like, based on what we know by reading 1 million job ads, you know, people will probably not apply for this job. So it's like you can see the future by just like having the accumulated knowledge of the machine. Like the machine has been going through a lot of experiences. They have been like, the machine has been looking at this 1 million job ads and seeing the patterns in them. So what you can do is that you can, like, from day one, you just use all the knowledge available, and all the knowledge available is just like in a very simple way given to you, you know, by this web app that is solving this problem. And there are similar applications in sales, for instance, where they have seen that the way that a company and a salesperson is like structuring the sales process is gonna affect if the person buys or not. It's, you know, I think that's definitely true. Like you have certain events, like you're cold calling, you're going to a first meeting, you follow up that meeting, and like depending on what you say in those events, you can actually, you know, you will have different outcomes. Like the way that we act will have some impact on the future outcome. It's not an exact science, of course, but I think, you know, that's the really cool thing about this era where we have, you know, collected a lot of data over the past like 10, 20 years, and you know, the amount of data that we're collecting is like rapidly increasing every single year. And now companies are using that data to accumulate that knowledge and just give that knowledge to you in a web service. So the only thing you need to do is like, you can just go into their web service and you have all that knowledge like for you. So what would be one event where you're like, I wish I knew how this would perform, this text or this voice or this video or whatever it is, before I actually created it?